heart beats just a little faster right now, doesn't it? As they stand alone right now. No cornermen. They're just ready to make the ring walk for the biggest fight that boxing can make.
Yes, sir. Black about it. Coast Coast is your boy. Shadow Ghost. Keep your hands up. Keep your chin tucked. It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back. Had to take some time off, not only to take care of some personal things, but also at the time, some fuckboy shit was going on, and you cannot let that stop the show. And I'm going to start off with not only what happened this past weekend, but I also want to talk about the UFC a little bit. And let's start off with Montana Love. This past weekend, Montana Love was disqualified in the 6th round when he went against Steve Spark, and what happened is he got upset and decided to go full-blown WWE and clothesline Spark outside the ring. Now, if you don't know, now this is not the first time I've actually seen Montana Love actually get irritated during a fight. You know, if you don't know about Montana Love, not only does he walk around with a dog, but he also gets hurt in almost every single fight that I've seen him so far. I haven't seen every one of his fights, but I will tell you this. He got hurt during the Baranchik fight. He got hurt in his last fight when he got knocked down, and he got knocked down early in the fight when he fought this past weekend. Spark knocked him down. Now, he's always got up to win, except for here, but that's not a good trait to have. But I will say this, some of the greats, you know, my favorite fighter of all time was Tito Trinidad. He would get knocked down in the 2nd round early in his career, a lot of times in the 2nd round, and he would come back and win. And also in the UFC, you got people like Justin Gaethje, who almost has to get knocked the fuck out before he actually starts fighting. These are not good traits to have, but nonetheless, these are traits, and you have to do with what you have. Another thing that was kind of crazy is before this fight, they were talking about Montana Love going against Richardson Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens, who fought in the Olympics representing Haiti in Rio de Janeiro. He lost to Antoine Russell, and this kid is undefeated. He's young. He's in his prime. He's now a new member of Matchroom Stable. He left his prior promoters and everything. I'm not sure if he left his promoters. I think he did leave his promoters, but I know he's with Matchroom now, and he's been calling for that fight. They don't like each other, and my thing is this: if you cannot get rid of Steve Spark, you need to stay far the hell away from Richardson Hitchens. The kid is young. He's got a very good jab. Now, I'll tell you the truth. Richardson Hitchens fought this past weekend. He was in the undercard, and you know, he needs to work on his defense a little bit. But I can tell you right now, even where he's at right now, I got him a couple levels above Montana Love at the state he's at right now. And Hitchens is only going to get better the more and more that he fights and gains more experience. By the way, Spark took that belt and was like, nah, I don't think I want that rematch. And that shit was funny to me. But that's what happened this past weekend with Montana Love. Now, to move on to other news. Errol Spence and Crawford. Well, actually, there's absolutely no news on Errol Spence and Crawford. Now, to move on to UFC, what I wanted to talk about. Now, I hardly don't really talk about UFC, but I think I might be talking about it a little bit more because I feel like, you know, UFC, with their formula that they have, we get to see, us as fight fans, we get to see the fights like the Errol Spence and the Crawfords and the Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fights. Those are far more easier to make because there's only one, maybe two belts, maybe like an intern belt, but everybody ends up fighting each other as you go up in the rankings. I feel like that system is good, but it would never work for boxing as long as there's an IBF, a WBA, a WBC, and so forth. So but with this fight this past weekend, man, we had some very good fights, but the one I really wanted to touch on is, of course, the defeat of Israel Adesanya, StyleBender. StyleBender, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I feel like the kid is gifted, man. A lot of people don't like his past performances because they were kind of stale. But when he was moving up in the ranks, it was sort of like a pretty boy Floyd in boxing. You know, he was taking it to people, and then once he gets the belt right now he's become a very defensive fighter, which, by the way, UFC is a little bit different from boxing. I feel like when you retreat and go on your back foot a little bit in the UFC, it's really frowned upon. Whereas even in boxing, it's frowned upon. But even in boxing, we could just say, you know, he's setting them up or whatever like that. You know, UFC fans, they start booing right away. If they don't see 10 seconds of straight action, 10 seconds, they start booing. And he fought Alex Pereira. Now, the guy that he fought had beat him 3 times prior. And going into this fight, I was like, bro, if this dude needs to fight a perfect fight, sort of like Wilder and Fury. You know, Fury needed to fight that perfect fight, but even when Fury got caught, he rose up like the Undertaker, and that's kind of crazy because at the end of round 1, StyleBender catches Alex with a nice right, and then with a left hook right as the bell rings. The dude was out on his feet, but he recovers like that, bro, with a snap of a finger. This guy's chin is mad good, bro. As the fight went on, People kind of say that they had it 3-1. I kind of had it a little bit more even than that because Israel was getting hit with some hard shots, bro. But when he got caught in round 5, his backup was against the fence, and that was his mistake right there. He got caught with an uppercut, was stunned, tried to retreat, got caught with another left. Then when he got caught with that left, his hands dropped and he started swaying, trying to go in a defensive way, and the ref just stepped in. It was like 3 minutes and change left. I mean, people are talking about an early stoppage. I mean, people really want to see people put on a stretcher, man. And I want to see the rematch, and I would still say smart money would be on Israel, but you don't want to lose money like Drake, who lost $2 million betting on Israel Adesanya. But I mean, what's $2 million to Drake? You know what I mean? And with that, this is Shadow Ghost. I feel good to be back. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be dropping more videos on a more consistent basis now that I'm back. God bless. Y'all have a great day.